The death of one's only child, a grieving father, and a corruption-ridden system. This is the harrowing story of BPCL's former CFO, Sivakumar from Bengaluru, a father who says he was met with no compassion but corruption while mourning his daughter. Sivakumar lost his only child, who was 34-year-old Akshaya, an IIT Madras and IIM Ahmedabad alumna, working with Goldman Sachs on September 18th. But even in this darkest hour, he alleged that every step of the process was marred by greed and apathy. In a LinkedIn post titled as "The Sad State of Affairs When One Loses Their Dear One," Sivakumar recounts being asked for bribes at every stage, from an ambulance driver demanding 5,000 rupees to move his daughter's body to police officers and crematorium staff openly seeking money. He says even when obtaining a death certificate, BBMP officials allegedly demanded extra payment after several days of delay. Expressing anguish, Sivakumar wrote, let me quote him here, that what will poor people do? Do the police have family or feelings to demand a bribe when someone is already in trauma? The post has now gone massively viral, sparking widespread outrage, with many calling his ordeal a reflection of India's systemic rot, a story that exposes how, even in grief, citizens must fight a system that has forgotten its humanity. A tragic tale, certainly a very dark hour for a father who lost the only child. But look at the sad state of affairs. He has also highlighted this harrowing story on his LinkedIn profile. We are flashing the screenshot of that post on your screens as well, viewers. You can see there is so much pain in the post that he has made. What would push a father to bring everyone's attention to the sad demise of his daughter and what followed? My colleague Gautam Shankar is joining us on the phone line. Gautam, it's very tragic. It's very sad that while a father was just trying, to say goodbye to the daughter in a proper way, in a proper manner, he came up, across multiple hurdles of this money mongers.
Yes, Akshaya. So here we have a post by Sivakumar, who's the former CFO of Bharat Petroleum, and his post has really got a lot of social media attention when he posted about the sad state of affairs in Bangalore after the tragic demise of his only daughter, Akshaya Sivakumar. Now, she passed away on September 18th. She had studied BTech and she is an IIM student as well. And now in this post on LinkedIn, which has now been deleted as well by Sivakumar, he shared his trauma and the sort of emotional turmoil that he's gone through because of the civic officials of BBMP who made him run pillar to post to ensure that he could just complete the formalities of after his daughter's death here. And he basically goes on to expose the sort of corruption in Bangalore's civic body and saying that this kind of incident happening in India's IT hub from the very system that was supposed to basically help him during difficult times, and they put him through so much emotional turmoil. And he goes on to say that he was able to pay off bribes to a lot of departments. And he also goes on to wonder at the end of the post that he was able to do it, but what about the common man? And this is really the sad state of affairs that he's talking about. And BBMP definitely has a lot to answer your question.
Absolutely. He has also highlighted how Inspector was so arrogant to him, how BBMP officials were so arrogant to him. Gautam, do we have any response coming in by the BBMP at the moment over this post?
We have tried to get in touch with the BBMP officials regarding this particular issue. And what we understand is that the BBMP is basically, this is a systemic corruption that has been existing in Bangalore for a long time. And he goes on to speak about how he had to pay about 3,000 rupees for transporting his daughter from hospital. And he also goes on to talk about what really happened next. And he recalled how the police officers were rude as well. And there's multiple systemic corruption, not just BBMP, but even on part of the police as well. And Basically, he talks about how having to pull the right strings, even from the police's end, is becoming very difficult. And after the post-mortem, he has donated his daughter's eyes, and the body was later released for cremation as well. And even at the cremation ground, the family was asked for money and they paid the amount. So there's multiple issues that need to be addressed here. So we will be asking questions of the BBMP, and this is a story that we will keep a close eye on, Sakshi.
Absolutely, Gautam. But when we say that there is a systematic corruption, there is a pattern which has been going on not only in the BBMP but in the police department as well. Do we have any other such chilling cases coming to the fore?
Absolutely, because keep in mind here, Sakshi, that this is a post shared on LinkedIn by Keshav Kumar. Now, he happens to be the CFO of Bharat Petroleum. Now, he may have the financial and the money power to pay off and make sure that all these processes are completed for his daughter. But the common man, what about him? What about, when someone dear, one of their family dies, the kind of corruption that they have to face? And this basically goes on to expose the corruption at several points, and right from the cremation to the police to different areas of the cremation as well. And the BBMP has basically made the life very difficult for this particular family, and just completing basic formalities after loved one's demise is proving to be so difficult in Bangalore, and this should prove to be an eye-opener, and the government as well will need to answer on this, because keep in mind that we here in Bangalore, in the BBMP, the civic body has been functioning without being an elected civic body for over 6 to 7 years now, and this is the kind of state of affairs we are looking, and there's no accountability, there's no sort of anyone taking responsibility for these kind of issues, and they just pass the buck, and they know that they can easily, extort the common man. And this is the kind of incidents that have come to light time and again in Bangalore. But unless some real strict action is taken, and who is going to take that action? That is the big question, is actually, because the police are involved, the civic body is involved, then who is going to really help out the common man when someone faces this kind of tragedy? And that is the big question here.